God damn, Bungie really can't stop sucking. Oh my goodness. You know, I didn't expect some of my predictions from that last video to come true this quickly, and especially two of them to basically be confirmed in the span of less than 12 hours yesterday at the time of recording this. So, if you haven't heard the news, Destiny 2 is basically going on maintenance mode for the foreseeable future, probably permanently. Now, it's not shutting down, it's not going offline or anything like that, it's just entering its vegetative state. You know, there's a pulse, but there's no real signs of life or future for this thing. And that was announced by Destiny's account yesterday from Bungie, of course, where they wrote this long blog post called "Every End is a New Beginning," where they talked about how, you know, thank you so much for playing Destiny 2, blah, 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 with the game's basically gonna not have any more content going forward after this final big update. All future major expansions are canceled. We're gonna start incubating new projects, blah, 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 like that whole thing. And, you know, if you were paying attention to the recent earning reports that came out of Sony a few weeks ago, you probably could have reasonably predicted that this was going to happen because, like I said in the last video, Sony didn't mention Destiny 2 once, like at all, in either their big visual presentation of their earnings and the follow-up call to their shareholders. So the fact that they didn't bring up what at the time, I mean a few weeks ago at the time, was the big flagship game for Bungie right now, didn't paint a good picture for that game's future, and yet cut to a few weeks later and here we are with Marathon being double down on, I would say quadrupled down on, and again, patting myself on the back here, where they're going to be adding in a ton of new stuff for future seasons, where they're going to try to casualize the game a lot more, including adding PvE modes that they're going to start testing next season in a few weeks. Again, something I said I'd be very surprised if they did not start doing, considering how bad the player metrics are for Marathon right now. And like I said, that was going to come at a cost because there was the rumor from Paul Tassi that more developers were being moved over to Marathon from Destiny, and you can't reasonably develop major expansions for Destiny 2 without a lot, like hundreds upon hundreds of developers on hand to make him. More than the maybe 300 to 400 that are working on Destiny 2 right now. But that wasn't all, because something that some players got, you know, a sprinkle of positivity, of hope that they got out of this blog post from Bungie was that, you know, Bungie said they're going to start incubating their next games. Could that mean Destiny 3? You know, that there's hope. There's hope for the future of Destiny. And then here comes Jason Schreier of Bloomberg off the top rope with the fucking chair and bam, just right in the face, back of the head of every single person who thought that, because Jason Schreier, a few hours later after this blog post, wrote on Bloomberg, breaking, Sony Group Corp Bungie unit is planning a significant number of layoffs as it ends development on the long-running online shooter game Destiny 2, according to people familiar with the studio's plans. The company doesn't have a new project lined up for Destiny 2's development team after the game comes to an end next month, according to the people who asked not to be identified because they weren't authorized to speak to the press. Bungie doesn't plan to immediately enter production on a Destiny 3, they said. The number of job cuts was not known. And here we are again, the third thing that I predicted. Layoffs. And not just layoffs, significant layoffs. What is like the third time that Bungie is going to have significant layoffs in the last, what, 3 years? 4 years? When was the last time they had layoffs? It was just right before Final Shape was originally supposed to come out back in 2023. So yeah, in the span of about 3 years, Bungie has seen 3 massive layoffs. Really healthy studio you got under your umbrella there, Sony, for spending $3.6 billion on these motherfuckers. And yeah, so here we are, where, you know, it's like the worst case scenario that some people were thinking was going to happen has come to pass, where not only are we not getting any more content updates, like big content updates for Destiny 2, the game's gonna enter maintenance mode, they're gonna quadruple down on Marathon, and there's gonna be layoffs. The thing is that I don't know reasonably what Bungie can incubate at this point that is going to fall in line with Sony's... I don't even know if Sony wants Bungie to be doing more live services. I honestly, like, and they said that there were going to be Jason Schreier said there's going to be a significant number of layoffs. So what are we talking about here exactly? Are we talking 50 people? Are we talking about 100 people? Are we talking about more than that? Are we talking like 200 people? Because right now there's about 800 people that work at Bungie. And I mean, what are you gonna do? Like lay off a quarter of the studio? I mean, even if they were to lay off 100 people or 50 people, that's about 400 people working on Marathon, according to Paul Tassi. So you have the remaining 350 to 300 people, depending on how many people are laid off, working on incubation projects, and not one project, like one that might work out. At that point, especially if they're gonna keep doing this live service thing, I don't think you can get a live service to comfortably, a brand new live service to comfortably work with Marathon as well. I think what they're going to have to do, and I know some people are gonna hear this and go, Razorblade Mango biased against live services again, but at this point, I think the safer bet would just be to make a single player game. Just take everything that you've learned from Destiny and Marathon these past, 12 years, and just make a fucking just make a tight 9 to 10 hour single player first person shooter in a new world, or do one of Marathon to get people more interested in the world of Marathon, like what I said they should have done in the very beginning. They're not going to. I doubt they are, and I doubt Sony will. This is the thing. They're going to have to incubate projects that then they're going to have to present to Sony to get their approval on. And forgive me, but I don't trust the instincts of Herman Holst and the people currently in charge at PlayStation to look at a project that might have some kind of risk behind it and go, yeah, go for that. I think what they're gonna do is, I don't know. I hope they do something smart. I hope they do single player stuff from Bungie. God knows, I think that would go over much better than another fucking live service after Sony's, generational cataclysm with live services that is going to be doing splash damage to them and their reputation for the next, I don't know, the next, generation. I would imagine, the splash damage is going to continue into the PS6 era, but... Oh, Jesus. Yeah. In conclusion, this has been the worst acquisition in video game history. I can't think of another acquisition that was, a publisher way overpaid for a product or a studio that then under-delivered as significantly as Bungie has over the last few years, ever since they were acquired by Sony. besides the final shape, and even then that was considered a financial disappointment because of Bungie's ridiculously stupid expectations, nothing good has come out of this acquisition. Not a fucking thing has come out of this acquisition. And the nerve of Bungie to come in and think that they are some kind of gods when it comes to live services, and they think they have the right to go over and tell PlayStation's teams what's what. Just wanted to make this quick little follow-up to the last video. I don't even know what to say anymore. I really just, I think I've run out of things to say when it comes to this like whole Bungie. I mean, if you're really, and I've seen this already, if you are really trying to like spin this as a positive to try to make this look good and reasonable, I mean, get your tongue out of Sony's asshole. Like, please spare me. Like, it's not healthy. It's not healthy for you to be eating ass this thoroughly. Like, just, you can get diseases from that shit. Get your tongue out of Sony's butthole, and please, God, come back to the real world, because this is not, this is terrible. I don't, like, again, Bungie really cannot stop sucking. Just, man, just, holy shit. What a fucking disaster. Jesus Christ.